So good evening, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are joining us today. And I am Bhuvna from Data Couch, and I'm excited to welcome you all on this session, which is basically a part one of the series that we are running, Introduction to Git and GitHub right now. And in today's collaborative and code-driven world, version control is the backbone of efficient software development. Git, the world's most popular distributed version control system, and GitHub, the leading platform for hosting and collaborating on Git repositories, have transformed how developers, teams, and organizations build software. The session marks the beginning of our 8 parts meetup series where we will explore the foundations of Git and GitHub. In session one today, we will focus on introducing these powerful tools, understanding why they are essential, and learning how they streamline collaboration, track changes, enable faster, smarter development workflows. In this session, we will dive into the fundamentals of Git and GitHub, uncover how these tools work together to simplify version control, and also explore a few real world scenarios where they transform collaboration and productivity. So let's begin our journey with Vishwanath Swami, who is our speaker for today.
Share my screen. So my screen is visible, right? Okay. So this is my GitHub profile where I do all of the sessions, coding, and everything. You will get it here. So let me give that here so others who are want to grab something. I mean, for this first session, it's just introduction and mostly the foundational block. So I didn't create. If not, generally what I do is I will have a folder. I mean, technically a repository that's called speakers. So if you see that speaker series, technically it's the same one. Each will have its own individual folder, and that folder will have the markdown file for this one, speaker series 2025. You see that. So each session will be marked. So after June also I'm doing sessions, but I didn't create it because those were live sessions, in-person events. So that's one thing. And second thing is we are going through the complete syllabus of GitHub Foundations. So the certification series. And we'll come back and we'll discuss what is this certification, why do you need it, and all those things. But let's get started with some knowledge and some hands-on, so that will give it. So we'll come back to this slide over here. So let's see that um, GitHub Foundation exam, right? GitHub. That's part one of two. This is part two of two. You can see that the one which we were seeing is one of one, and this is part two. So where you will see some other this thing like contributing, and these things will definitely come back to this one, GitHub Copilot with Python. And the collection which we are seeing here is the is it's showing the entire syllabus. Like if you try to go and uh, look at this part one and part two individually, you will see that part one is 5 hours, and part two is also 5 hours. So we'll not restrict ourselves to the time bound like 8 sessions or 6 sessions, but our intention will be we have to cover the entire syllabus, no matter when it is taking 15 sessions or 20 sessions, but we'll cover that. I'm not scaring anyone, but I'm telling the end goal. Like if you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 code spaces, 7, 8. The first eight one, if you see in this collection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are few things. It's a little bit here and there, but if we see from the syllabus perspective, it is this one we will be covering. So we are covering first is part one of one, okay, and from the GitHub Foundation certification perspective, and then we'll be covering part two of two. That's again a plus or minus. It is 5 hours. It is covering a little bit more. It's an incremental one. So let's come back to this and look at the introduction to Git, and we'll do a little bit of introduction to GitHub. Uh, okay, so I'm just a learner. Apologize if I do any mistake. So first thing is we will understand what is this source control. So in a simple terms, imagine when we were kid, we used to do some homework or practice a math problem or draw something on a paper in a book, drawing book or something. So we do draw this the drawing, and if we are satisfied, we'll keep it. Or even if we are satisfied, we want to do enhancement, we'll turn the page and again we'll redraw that, try to enhance. It might come good or it might be same or worst. We don't know. But again, tomorrow we might redraw that in a different page. Now, literally, we have three copies of our drawing. So similarly, source control will also, one of the functionalities, it makes a copy. Okay, that's just an introduction. Now let's come back to this one. Actually, what is, we are saying that version control system, what is it? So as we are discussing, it's just a version control system. As we will see that it stores one of the functionality I was mentioning, like the same piece of work we are physically writing in a notebook. We maintain multiple copies. Sometimes, as I was mentioning, the first day when we do some math problem, we are working out perfectly. Second day when we are retrying the same, we might not get the same answer, or we might get the same answer with a shorter steps or something of that kind. So similarly, first day when you code it, you might be able to hit it, or you might royally fail, and tomorrow you will come back and again redo that. So similarly, if you see, let's see from different places. All the time I feel this, instead of me creating copy pasting this or um paraphrasing this, I always love to go to the source where someone already discussed it. We'll see that and we'll see. Okay. It's a software development tool and collaborative on a projects, tracking and managing the changes. This is one thing, like documents and other files. Okay, record and track each and every update, collaborate on the code without overwriting. I mean, that's not 100% true. Definitely we will overwrite. There are days when the team members will fight that the code which was written by me will be overridden by someone, or someone wrote some code and I will override it. These are definitely real-time scenarios which will happen in the real-time work. Revert to the earlier version. Definitely maintain a detailed and structured history of what it is. Now, when you see the version control systems itself, you can see three main things. Okay, so I worked in Subversion and Mercurial. I don't remember CSV. And another thing is the main branch is a clean state. You create a feature branch. We'll again come and revisit all these topics. I'm just introducing. But as I was mentioning, some of the topics we introduce, some of the topics we'll not introduce, some of the topics we introduce and time and again we'll revisit again and again. So I'll take time. As I was mentioning, the number of sessions is not will not restrict us, but what is very important, the goal of our journey is we'll learn the complete syllabus or entire technology as much as possible. That's the goal. So there is the main branch, and customer has requested another feature. So as I was mentioning, we can't directly go and change the source code or the artifacts from the main branch. So what do we do? So we create, I mean, the manager will assign a ticket to the architect or a senior developer or a lead developer or a developer. They create the branch out of main. So that means they get a fresh copy. Let's see this one. Let's assume this one. Which was that? Just showing. Okay. So here. So in the server, it is the main branch. So we'll get a copy of that. So we'll do all the development here and check in here. We'll directly not push it. Instead, we'll raise a pull request. So that means once that feature has been developed, we will raise a request. It's called pull request. We'll come back to that. That means what we are telling is, hey, I have created this piece of code. Can we merge back into the main? So again, there'll be two set of files. So at least two people have to review the changes of our feature branch before it gets merged into the main branch. So that's gate. Now nowadays even automatic code reviews and all those things are coming. For some people, the code review, the true intention of code review is to find out is there any issue, is there a performance issue, or is there some business logic which has been missed. That's the main goal. So before we merging this into the main branch, our local copy has to be reviewed by two people. So that's true intention. But some people use the code reviews as the revenge tool. Imagine I'm a senior developer and two of my juniors, they are raising the pull request. I want to delay hamper their progress. So I raise unrealistic comments. So it's a hard truth. Mostly code reviews are being used as revenge tools. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not hurting anyone, but in my 2 decades of uh, working experience, I faced that people taking revenge on my pull request. So that's a harsh truth. Okay. So I think I should not speak truth, but I spoke it. Other thing is when the pull request is raised, we look at it and realistically tell that, hey, you have missed this, or there is a performance issue, or you're using a library that might be risky. These kind of things will help to keep the main branch clean. Okay, so that's the introduction. And there is a very small video here, and look at this. So today we are discussing on this. Just now we spoke about this distributed version control, and we'll see working tree repository. What is this repository? So working tree is the branch what we maintain. So we'll be okay. So we'll be seeing that, and repository is like we call something which you created on the GitHub. That's also we call it as a repository, and something which we have it on our local. That's also we call it as a repository. But some people call it as a local branch or a local repo versus the remote repo or the something which is there on the server. Okay, repositories are also called, mostly we call it as a repo. Never, I mean, sometimes people call it as repositories. It's interchangeable, but uh, most term used is repo. Okay, bare repository is the one that isn't part of the working tree. So that's one important point. And hash is will identify the hash number. If the hash of the file is same, that means there are no changes. So if you come to, let's go to any of the previous commits. If we go to any of those previous commits, each of the commit will have the hash number. When we go deep into that commit, we should be able to see the hash of that file for each and every file. So we'll be able to see that. So this was the first session. We started a little late.
Okay.
So
So thank you so much, Swami, for giving us your time and for all the efforts, and also for simplifying these complex concepts for all of us and for empowering our community. Uh, and for all the participants, if you missed any part of today's session or would like to revisit it, the recording will be available soon on our YouTube channel. We will also share the link on our social media channels and the monthly newsletter. I highly recommend that you can subscribe to our LinkedIn newsletter by following our company page to get deep insights. This will be in a fun way wherein we'll peek into the future of data and AI. For further questions or resources, you can always reach us at hello@datacouch.io. To stay updated on upcoming sessions, make sure to follow us on social media and join our meetup groups. The links are already there in the chat. Thank you again for being part of today's event. We look forward to see you all at our next session, and we wish you a productive day, an evening, and a night. Thank you so much.